Right then, ladies and gents, more Mortal Kombat news. We knew this was going to happen. You read from the title. Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero actor Joe Taslim now teases Noob Saibot for possible sequel. I mean, look, full spoilers ahead, of course. I'm sure if you wanted to watch it, you probably would have by now. Most people have. Joe Taslim has been signed on. I think he's signed on for another 4 films, if I remember rightly. 5 films in total, which is interesting, of course. We already heard from the director and the screenwriter. The screenwriter had said, yeah, we're looking to do what? The screenwriter had indicated that he had it in his head they were going to do 3 films, a trilogy. 1 prior to the tournament, 1 of the tournament, and 1 post-tournament. Of course, the first one is now pre-tournament. We know that. We know, of course, the end of Sub-Zero in that film. And we know that Shang Tsung says, hey, you know, death is just another portal before he spirits everyone away. And we already had the director come out and tease the potential for characters to come back, changed, worked in with the lore, the mythos, and that lends itself very nicely to Noob Saibot, aka Sub-Zero, Joe Taslim, whatever you want to call it. So we'll dive into this today. The articles are going to be linked down below in the description box. Also linked down below, 2 things. My Blu-ray, please do grab it whilst you still can. It is limited, although we have extended the sale run of it because interest is still there, but it is limited. We won't be continuing it. As soon as interest dies down, we'll just whip it off the store and never sell it again, because creating indie films on Blu-ray and packaging them and selling them, all that kind of stuff, is not easy when you're doing it in-house, especially when it's the first time you've done it. So I don't want to do it forever, so please do grab it whilst you can, and also support me. Secondly is my second channel. It's a car channel. It's called Car Nonsense. You'll find that link down below. Not everyone's into cars, but some people are. And if you are interested in cars, and I say the Nissan Pulsar GTI-R, your ears should perk up. It is Baby Godzilla. Well, I am rebuilding one on my second channel. Please do go and check it out. Now, let's dive into this, shall we? So Joe Taslim of The Raid, The Night Comes For Us, take on Icy Assassin Sub-Zero was an undeniable highlight of Mortal Kombat, and even though his character met his end at the hands, well, flaming skull breath of Scorpion in the movie's cinematic, well, the final cinematic or climactic battle, there's a very good chance Taslim will return if Warner Brothers decides to move ahead with a sequel, which I think that they will, to be honest. It's done very well budget-wise in take-home money. So I'd be surprised if they don't at this point. As any fan of the long-running video game series will be aware, Bi-Han was resurrected as shadowy ninja Noob Saibot from by Quan Chi, after being killed off in the first game. And there's a definite hint that Shang Tsung has similar plans for the character at the end of this adaptation. Yeah, been pretty obviously, in fairness. Now, during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Taslim was asked about the possibility of suiting up as Saibot for Mortal Kombat 2. Now, we know he is signed on. We know he's signed on for a lot of things. Again, like I said, I think he's signed on for like 4 movies. It's just something insane. It's a lot. It's a lot of movies he's pre-signed up for. Now, this is the article itself. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. It says, after Mortal Kombat's opening weekend victory at the domestic box office, Sub-Zero actor Joe Taslim can't help but imagine future and past stories involving his character. The Indonesian actor and renowned martial artist was offered the role of Bi-Han Sub-Zero out of the blue, fulfilling a childhood dream in the process. And even though the assassin met his demise in Simon Quode's franchise relaunch, no one's ever really gone in the Mortal Kombat universe, as the video game franchise resurrected Sub-Zero into Noob Saibot. And he says, and I quote, "Yes, that's the next transformation of the character," Taslim tells The Hollywood Reporter. "If the fans want this franchise to continue, then there's a strong chance that the next step of Bi-Han, or for Bi-Han, is to play Noob Saibot. Fingers crossed, but I hope it happens because I definitely want to play that character." As much as Taslim wants a proper sequel to Mortal Kombat, a Sub-Zero prequel is his utmost preference, which I think is really... I think actually, funnily enough, that is what everyone actually wants to see, because that opening 7 minutes was amazing. It was great. If they just did that for the whole film, I think people would be much happier, actually. That 7 minutes was fantastic. Now, he says, the most interesting path, in my opinion, is to do a prequel, Taslim shares. It would be a story about Bi-Han and his training in the Lun Kuei, when he got abducted by the Lin Kuei. His parents were killed. So it would be the process of him and his brother becoming assassins. We would get to see 2 future Sub-Zeros in one movie, and that would be intriguing. I like the fact that he knows about this stuff. That's great. In a recent conversation with THR from his home in Jakarta, Taslim also discusses the toll that Sub-Zero's costume took on him and why he wants to shed the label of action actor. So I read that you got a call out of the blue offering you the role of Sub-Zero. Did you have a hard time believing it at first? And he says, well, it took me a while, but the little kid inside of me was jumping around when they told me they wanted me to play Sub-Zero. I grew up playing Mortal Kombat, and Sub-Zero was my hero, especially Bihan, who's going to turn into Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot is, and that's interesting there, who's going to turn into Noob Saibot. So it sounds like he knows and he let it slip there. Noob Saibot is my favourite character in Mortal Kombat 11. So I asked about the script because I needed to know what I was getting into. And when they sent me the script, the first 10 pages hooked me straight away. That turned out to be my favourite 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of the movie. You and everyone else, buddy. You and everyone else. Now, they talk about his son and things like that, but this is the interesting thing. So what was the evolution of the costume? It took them a while because the first fitting was very stiff and super heavy, and then they asked for my opinion because I was going to be the one wearing it and flying around in the movie. So there weren't a lot, but there were some adjustments throughout the process. We also had 2 costumes. One is the real one which is super heavy, and then the other one is the fight version, which is a bit lighter and easier to move in, but both are heavy. I've got to say, when we tried a couple of masks, they were thoughtful because they said you're going to do a lot of exhausting stuff, and we don't want to fit the mask straight onto your skin because you need to breathe. That's why they made the mask a bit bigger on purpose. A lot of people have mentioned and questioned the mask, saying the mask is too big. But because I know the story, it's for safety purposes, and it's for me to perform better, and it's so I can breathe. So yeah, it was worth it. It's a bit big, but it helped me a lot, and I had plenty of room to breathe during the action stuff. That's the thing. You've got to remember, all these people were doing their own action stunts. I mean, they have to be able to breathe to do all of that. They absolutely have to be able to breathe to do all of that. And that was one of the highlights of this film as well, just everyone actually doing all of that stuff. They talk about recording some stuff in ADR, which is interesting. Again, not bad. But this is the other interesting stuff. So in the opening scene, Bihan and Hanzo spoke in different languages to each other. Did the script translate Hanzo's Japanese dialogue for you, or was there a translator on set? In the script, it's written in 2 languages, the English version and the Japanese version. For my character as well, there's an English version and a Chinese version. So everybody understood each other's lines, and I'm also quite fortunate. I don't speak Japanese, but I trained in judo in Japan. So the language is familiar to me, and it wasn't a stranger. So I quickly adjusted because I also have Japanese lines, and I understood 30% of Hanzo's Japanese lines. So I was quite lucky that I had some experience in knowing the languages. Now, they talk about some of the ice powers and the fake ice on set and things like that, and CG. All of this stuff is very, very interesting, and I'll leave, like I said, this article is linked down below, but it's not the main focus of this video. The main focus of this video is, of course, Noob Saibot, which he actually lets slip twice. So he talks about it, so yes, I want to do that, blah, 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 and then he literally says Noob Saibot will be coming next. Now, he says, obviously, if a sequel follows the game, storyline and Bihan becomes Noob Saibot, then his brother, Kuei Liang, would presumably take on the mantle of Sub-Zero. Yeah, I like that idea. If they do a sequel, then we are probably going to see Noob Saibot. So straight in there. If they do a prequel, then we would get to see the 2 future Sub-Zeros in one movie, and that'd be intriguing. Great stuff. Like, it's genuinely great stuff. Let me know what you think, though, down below in the comment section if you are new here. Please do hit subscribe. Please do give the video a like, and please do share it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.